Snow was falling softly over the quiet town of Winterbridge when Emily Carter found the baby on her doorstep. It was Christmas Eve morning. The lights in the neighborhood were still twinkling from the night before, the air crisp, peaceful, silent. But the moment Emily opened her front door, that silence broke into a soft, trembling cry. A tiny baby boy lay wrapped in a red blanket, with a note pinned to it. "Please keep him safe. His name is Noah. I will come back for him." Emily froze. Her heart hammered. She had no children, no husband, and no idea why fate had suddenly placed a newborn in her arms. But something in the baby's wide, frightened eyes pulled her in. She lifted him gently, noticing how cold his little fingers were. That was the moment everything changed. Emily's quiet life turns upside down. At 32, Emily lived a simple life. She owned a small Christmas shop on Main Street, famous for handmade decorations and warm hot cocoa that drew in customers from nearby towns. She wasn't used to chaos. She wasn't used to surprises. And she absolutely wasn't used to holding a baby who wasn't hers. She rushed Noah inside, warmed him, and called the police. But with a severe snowstorm blocking roads and shutting down lines, help wasn't coming anytime soon. The officer simply said, "Keep the baby safe. We will check in when the storm clears." Emily hung up with trembling hands. She looked at Noah, who stared back with deep brown eyes. "Looks like it's just you and me tonight, little one," she whispered. Enter Daniel Walker, the man she never planned on meeting. Daniel Walker, a former firefighter turned carpenter, had returned to Winterbridge after losing everything in a tragic accident that cost him his career and his confidence. He came home to rebuild his life, not expecting to be swept into someone else's. When he walked into Emily's store for supplies, he never expected to hear a baby crying from the back counter. Emily explained everything, her voice shaky, uncertain. Daniel listened carefully, and something clicked inside him. He had always wanted to be a father, but life had given him other plans. "You shouldn't do this alone," Daniel said gently. "Let me help, at least until the storm clears." Emily hesitated, but Noah's cry reminded her she needed support. And so, a strange, unexpected partnership began. A Christmas of challenges. The first night was filled with challenges neither of them expected. Noah wouldn't stop crying. The heater broke. Emily panicked each time the baby squirmed. Daniel, using his old firefighter calm, managed to fix the heater, soothe the baby, and reassure Emily. Still, doubts haunted her. "What if I'm not good enough? What if something happens to him?" she whispered. Daniel smiled softly. "You don't have to be perfect. You just have to care." They stayed awake almost all night. And as the snowstorm howled outside, inside the small shop a fragile little family began to form. Bonding, healing, and holiday magic. Over the next few days, Emily and Daniel became Noah's world. Emily learned how to feed him, change him, and rock him gently. Daniel built a tiny wooden cradle, smoothing the edges with care, his heart healing a little with each stroke. They laughed at the chaos, worked through the exhaustion, and opened up to each other in ways neither had expected. Emily learned about Daniel's past, how he lost his partner in the fire, how he blamed himself. Daniel learned about Emily's loneliness after her parents passed away, how she buried herself and worked to avoid feeling the emptiness. Noah, with his innocent smile, slowly filled those empty spaces. The heartbreaking twist. On the third day, the snow finally cleared. The police called. They had found Noah's mother, a young woman who had run away from an abusive household, terrified and homeless, thinking her baby wasn't safe with her. She was now in protective care. She wanted to see her son again. Emily felt her heart drop. She knew this moment would come, but she wasn't ready. Daniel saw the fear in her eyes. "You've done more for this baby in 3 days than some do in a lifetime," he said softly. "But you have to let the mother have her chance." Emily nodded, tears falling. When the social worker arrived, Emily handed Noah over with trembling hands. Noah reached out, as if sensing her distress. The cradle Daniel built remained empty. The house felt colder. Healing, hope, and a Christmas surprise. A week passed. Emily tried returning to her routine, but everything felt different. Daniel visited often, helping around the shop, quietly keeping her company. Then, on Christmas morning, a soft knock came at Emily's door. She opened it to see Noah's mother, Sophia, holding the baby and smiling shyly. "I wanted to thank you," Sophia said. "You saved him. You saved me. I'm joining a support program, but I can't do this alone. Not yet." Emily's heart pounded. Sophia took a deep breath and continued, "Would you consider being part of his life? Maybe, both of you." Daniel's eyes widened. Emily felt warmth bloom inside her chest. She glanced at Daniel, who smiled gently. "Yes," Emily said with tears in her eyes. "We'd love that." Noah giggled, reaching toward her just like he had that first morning. A new beginning. That Christmas, Emily, Daniel, Sophia, and baby Noah sat together around a small tree decorated with handmade ornaments. It wasn't a perfect family, but it was a real one. And in Winterbridge, under twinkling lights and falling snow, they rebuilt their lives together, with love, forgiveness, second chances, and the courage to start again. Final inspiring message. Sometimes family arrives in the most unexpected ways. Sometimes healing begins with someone who needs you. And sometimes Christmas miracles don't come wrapped in ribbons. They come wrapped in red blankets, with tiny hands and innocent eyes who change your world forever.